All right, thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the blueprint. The major story here says, fuel scarcity, Naira redesign. Don't pitch me against Buhari, Tinubu tells Atiku others. Accuses fifth columnist of distorting comments. Our candidates only re-echoed issues known to Buhari PCC. And you'll find all the details on the front page of the blueprint. And to the front page of the leadership newspaper now, Atiku Tinubu returned to the trenches over alleged plot to scuttle election. Stop getting high on your own smoke, Asiwaju tells ex-VP PDP. All right, all the details on the front page of the leadership newspaper. And we move now to the front page of the First News newspaper. Naira redesign despite Speaker's arrest threat. Emefiele shunts rep summon again. House will issue arrest warrant against CBN Governor next Tuesday, Gbajabiamila vows, following ad hoc committee's recommendation. And on the front page of the News Direct, more controversies trail Naira swap as reps, CBN banks disagree over 31st January deadline. Reps recommend Emefiele's arrest. Mike.
All right, I have the Punch newspaper here, and it says mega churches, schools, bar old Naira note payment and offering. Mega churches, schools, bar old Naira note payment and offering. A new notes shortage forces banks to shut ATMs. Customers demand extension. Reps threaten Emefiele with arrest. Insist CBN governor must obey summons. Law professor sues CBN. NLC writes Buhari over deadline extension. All these on the page of the Punch newspaper. The Nation is next. The Nation newspaper says it's focusing on the petrol crisis. PDP colluding with saboteurs, says Tinubu. PDP colluding with saboteurs, says Tinubu. Atiku trying to pit Tinubu against Buhari. Protesters block Benin-Lagos road. All that you see on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Now let's get to this Nigeria. Now this Nigeria says 159 Nigerians renounced citizenship in 2022. There's the federal government is saying this through the Ministry of Interior. Says Japa syndrome fueling high passport demand. 159 Nigerians renounced citizenship in 2022. All that you see on the front page of this Nigeria. From there, let's go to Nature News. Nature News says Buhari to African leaders spend more on agriculture. Spend more on agriculture. That's what the Buhari is saying to African leaders there you see on the front page of the Nature News. Business Day, excuse me, Business Day is the last one we're looking at now. And it says DJs battle streaming platforms for hits. DJs battle streaming platforms for hits. All right, that's what you see. And that's on the entertainment platform, the business of entertainment. That's what we see on the front page of the Business Day newspaper. Veronica?
All right, let's look at this story on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. Talking about the APC presidential candidate reacting to how a majority of some persons rather had interpreted his statements. The story says, fuel scarcity, Naira redesign, don't pitch me against Buhari, Tinubu tells Atiku others. Recall that yesterday we had a conversation on the papers. We saw where the reaction of the APC presidential candidate saying that fifth columnists were behind the petrol scarcity Naira redesign row. And a lot of persons began to interpret it that he was speaking against his own party's government. And that perhaps he's speaking against President Muhammadu Buhari, as some have said he's part of the government because of the role he played. And so the reactions were just here and there. And he's now saying, okay, for those of you that are interpreting it that way, don't pitch me against Buhari. And he spoke directly to the PDP presidential candidates, tells him, don't pitch me against, if you have issues with the president, that is between you and him, don't pitch me against him.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. That's what he's saying is these are fifth columnists.
Yes.
And the origin of the word, of the phrase fifth columnist, that dates back to the 1930s during the Spanish Civil War, when the Republicans, who are the left-leaning people, communists, socialists, and rebels, anarchists, were pitting themselves against Francisco Franco and the nationalists, conservatives, the ultra-nationalists, and all of that. And they were trying to invade Madrid. And one general, Emilio Mola, said that they are going to be, although there were 4 columns going there, he believed that the people who were inside Madrid were sympathizers to the Republican. They will form the 5th column that will now deceive the nationalists and take over Madrid. But it did not happen. And the 5th columnist did not succeed. So that's what, in a sense, Ashwaji is saying, that the 5th columnist will not succeed. He didn't say this thing in English. And many people who are trying to interpret or translate what he said should go to the Yoruba origin of what he said. He never mentioned Buhari. He said some people are trying to, sabotage election because of the fuel scarcity and also Naira redesign. Now we can see that we have fuel. They say we have fuel everywhere. And not a drop, not a drop to drive. Then we have Naira everywhere, not a note to spend. Exactly. So he's saying that this is counterintuitive. This is not how society runs. And if we cannot explain it, then we have to hold those who are doing it, hold them to account, because somebody must explain why we have fuel and we can't drive. Why we have new Naira notes and we can't spend. So what is it? What is going on? That's what he's saying, that this is sabotage. And that he's saying that there are some people who want to scuttle the ambition, because, as Professor Sage said, he said, if they scuttle it, they will say APC government is in charge, that's why we have this problem with currency, that's why we have this problem with fuel, and so on. And that's one of the best way to stampede the people into voting against the ruling party. And he's saying that this is what is going on, and that's why he's yelling. This may be the second Emilokan moment.
In the same Ogun.
All right, now the point there is, when you see the way government works, when you are going to meet either the commander-in-chief or the governor, and you have as a government official, as an expert, you're holding the document or whatever you want to explain to your boss, and you go, and you explain everything, you're going to be very professional with the ideals of whatever the thing is. Of course, you're not going to sit down to discuss the other issues like the innuendos around the issue.
No.
Of course, you're going to. So the issue there is that what they are saying is there's a difference between what the president wants as the vision and what some persons are using this whole thing to do.
Yeah.
That is what this thing is about. Right. Now, you understand that when it comes to fuel, an average Nigerian, no matter how remotely located you are in any part of this country, one way or the other, the issue of fuel affects you. So when we are saying, NNPC is saying, we have fuel, we are working to ensure that there's fuel everywhere. But of course, like Sam said, there's fuel everywhere, but we can't see. So it tells you that there is the issue of some person somewhere ensuring that this thing is not available at this strategic time. There's also the issue of the Naira. Everybody in this country, no matter how remotely located you are, has one connection with either there's a 50 Naira somewhere, there's a 100 Naira somewhere, there's a 200 Naira or 1,000 Naira somewhere that somebody has to spend. So the point there is that if these two things at this critical time are causing chaos all over the place, then it tells you that it's possible some persons are somewhere trying to ensure that these two phenomenon, they use it to work on the minds of an average Nigerian. Because if you use them and if you wield them well, it could make Nigerians, react in a certain way. Absolutely. Because these two things affect every Nigerian, no matter how remotely located you are. That is where the candidate of the APC is speaking from. He's not talking about the president. No, the ideals of the fact that the president, he made a clear statement regarding the issue of the Naira redesign, what he wants and how he wants it to look like. It's ideal. It's beautiful. It's a good idea. You understand? Ensuring that all the monies in the pockets of people are brought back into the system, ensuring that it cuts down ransom payment for kidnapping and all of that, ensuring that the monetary policies work, and so on and so forth. All of those things are ideals. They're good.
Addressing vote buying and
but
all.
the point there is that there are still people who want to sit somewhere by the side to manipulate the system using these two phenomena. That is what he is talking about. So the issue there is that it is very easy to begin to say, this man is talking against his principal. Hey, can you see? There's a fallout. There's a fallout between Tinubu and Buhari. It's just like the media sometimes will sit and say, Ronaldo and Messi, who is better? These two guys are friends, just playing football. Absolutely. But somebody will sit and say, Ronaldo and Messi, who is? And then the way they trump it up could begin to make them become conscious, as in, wait to come. How many goals have I scored? Exactly.
It's just like in those days when there was a rumor that there was a fight between Ebenezer Obey and Sonny Ade.
Right.
And then they had to sing. When Sonny Ade spoke, he said, "Ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ò ṣẹlẹ̀, kò ṣẹlẹ̀ rárá. Ọ̀rọ̀ jati o. Àwa ò gbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́ mọ́. Ike Sonny tí ẹ ti ń ké, ìyẹn ti tó gẹ́. Ariwo òbé tí ẹ ti ń pa o, ìyẹn ti pọ̀ jù.
Where are my music instruments?
Ó tí ò ṣẹlẹ̀, ìyẹn ti gbé kiri. Sonny ò bẹ́ nìkan jà. Òbé ò bẹ́ nìkan bínú. Ara ìdákẹ́ ìsọkúsọ. So that was it. That there's no real fight between these two people, but the people in their own imagination have created the war zone. They've created the battles. They've created the battle axe. They've created the generals. They've even created the fifth colonists.
Yeah. I mean, this is coming on the heels of the outing in Bauchi.
Yes.
So
when he called him Mr. President.
So it's interesting to see. One expects things like this to happen leading up to the elections.
Of course.
But again, we're also seeing that it's taking a different dimension, unlike what we have known in the past years. Using two key issues, the Naira notes and talking about fuel at this critical time to sabotage. That's kind of crazy, if I may use that word.
We have two invisibility. There's a novel called by Ralph Ellison called Invisible Man. Now we have the invisible phone and the invisible money.
It goes to show the dynamics coming to play ahead of the elections, why a lot of persons have said that this election is different from previous years that we have witnessed. So whatever ammunition you can use this time around to fight, against any of your candidates and all of that, that is what we are seeing playing out. But we hope that these matters will be resolved ahead of the election because it is affecting Nigerians